It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
No fear here in Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, from the beautiful studios of Freedoms of the Nest, freedomsphoenix.com here at the farm. What we are going to be doing, a lot of people around the country, I know national audience, they have a different perspective of Sheriff Joe Arpaio than probably the people that live here. And he has fans, of course, but man, he's all media. He's all media hype. It's all about the media. And he knows how to, you know what? Let me tell you how you get media. You got to have a government number. You have a government number. It's got to be an arrest number. It's got to be a warrant number. It's got to be a referendum, recall, campaign, or, some kind of lawsuit number. You get a number, man, here comes the media. They got it covered in the government number. So what does he do? He creates a number with a warrant. I want to get something in the media. I just write the warrant up the way I want it to say whatever, and we just go serve it and let the media know and have the helicopters and all the reporters and the videotape and everything and what's behind it doesn't matter. We just go serve a warrant, man. It's all good press. That's how we do. That's how we rock and roll and whatnot here with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I got my own. I got plenty of Arpaio stories. I mean, you'd be surprised. Now we have here online Ray Stern. Now he's an award-winning journalist. Now, he's worked for the past 5 years as a staff writer for the Phoenix New-Times. And he's lived here in the Valley for 35 years, so he knows the stories. And probably, of any journalist here in the Valley that I know of that probably, because there's been a lot of other journalists that have come and gone and come and gone. Heck, because Arpaio's been there since 92. They're talking almost 20 years. So what? And I knew him back in 92. He's, Ernie, man, we'd be buddies because they needed the independent vote. So we go way back, and so I made the hit list. I didn't even know I was on the hit list until the New Times was going, yeah, and they were following Hendershot, his second command. Yeah, we were following that Ernest Hancock. I'm like, yeah, whatever, because we had so much fun with this. Now, Ray, I got you there?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm here.
Ray, I could go on and on, but let's start from the beginning. What do you know about the history before becoming sheriff? Why did he come to Arizona? From out of the blue, all of a sudden, he's running for sheriff. And his relationship with the various political leadership, the parties, and his kind of weird relationship with Janet Napolitano when she was U.S. assistant attorney under Reno and Clinton. Then she became attorney general, governor. There's always this kind of ouch quit it back between them. They're filing charges. They're not filing charges. They're investigating something. They're not investigating something. They're getting stuff. They're part of Homeland Security, bring multi-jurisdiction task force. I want my helicopters. I get my tank with a gun on it, mobile artillery. I mean, what the heck, man? So it started...
It's a long history, that's for sure.
But I want to start off with this. When he first got elected, he wanted to put a bubble on Maricopa County and search every single car going in and out. You had Romley, county attorney. Then you got the new county attorney that there for a while was Andrew Thomas. He was, I've known these guys on the campaign trail. And after about 3 minutes, you can tell whether they're crazy or not. I mean, hey, it's crazy. Joe, I know. I do love you, brother, but you crazy, okay? And Andrew Thomas, definitely crazy. Bill Montgomery, not a lot better. I mean, these guys are, they're poster children. For a libertarian activist, you just go, heck, are you kidding me? Of course I want you reelected. You're a great example, man. All right, so go ahead and start from the beginning. Tell me what you know.
It's been an amazing history, definitely. And it's kind of tough to go back 18 years and remember everything. So if your listeners can forgive me if I forget something.
Well, there's definitely a theme.
There's definitely a theme. Arpaio, the reason he was interested in ringing the county with drug-sniffing dogs and searching every car coming in and out of the county for drugs is because he's got a DEA background. He was the former chief of the DEA here in Arizona and worked for the DEA for a long time before becoming sheriff. And if you read his books, he'll talk about the exciting adventures he had in Mexico and other countries, busting drug dealers and whatnot. Although apparently he also had a lot of fun busting small-time dealers and earned a nickname in the DEA as I think it was Nickel Bag Joe or something like that. So that was who he was before he became sheriff. And when he ran for office here in '92, he said that it would only be for one term, because that's the kind of guy he is.
Now, they always say that, but why did he come here? Why here? He retired, right? I mean, he had the political bug. Once he got taste of media, man, he was just, where can I go get me some media? I'll be of service to the man. I mean, he's a fed. Fed. He came here, and he brought in the federal government. Every chance he got, there's more fed. So I'm going, all right, in your investigations, where's the link? Why here?
Well, I'm not that knowledgeable about that exact question, except I can tell you that I don't think he's much of a carpetbagger as, say, McCain, who seems to have singled out Arizona as a place where he could win. Arpaio served as DEA boss in Arizona, I believe, and so I think he likes it. He owns homes out in Fountain Hills. He may be a carpetbagger if that's what you're getting at, but
I don't really care. I've just wondered.
His politics have evolved over the years too, and so I can tell you that I'm sure he didn't come here because he thought illegal immigration, for instance, would be a good thing to harp on back then. Part of his history is that he was actually somewhat friendly towards illegal immigrants and had been reported to say that he's not going to be out there busting hot dog vendors or tamale vendors and whatnot. And then there was something that changed in '05 or '06 where there was a guy who stopped and personally had a citizen's arrest of some illegal immigrants out on the highway, and Arpaio came out after that arrest was known, or it wasn't really an arrest, it was just a guy pulling a gun on a bunch of people on a highway, and Arpaio said that wasn't right, but the new county attorney at the time, Andrew Thomas, who Arpaio later allied himself with, he backed this guy whose name was Patrick Hab, and he would not charge him for aggravated assault for pulling a gun on these illegal immigrants. And that was an immensely popular decision with a lot of people in Arizona, and a light bulb went on in Arpaio's head, and suddenly he was off to the races, and he allied himself with Andrew Thomas and really started targeting illegal immigrants. So
now I remember before,
so I just bring that up because his politics have changed a little bit over time.
No, before that, his big thing was, what was it, prostitutes. I mean, streetwalkers, man. He was they go down there and he'd go get them, round them up. They call him the pea posse. You know what I mean? So he's out there just because press. This guy is the biggest press hound dog there ever was, man.
Now, of course, that one though that got him in a little trouble. It got him some press he didn't like because he had all these posse members who are basically a bunch of guys from Sun City with it's kind of a retirement community with nothing better to do out there. And Arpaio has really expanded the posse. In part because it's great publicity for him, and he had all these posse members out there as part of what you call the P posse, out busting prostitutes. Except some of them, they let it go a little bit too far, and so they went back for seconds. In other words, after they had plenty of evidence that a crime had been committed on themselves, and then asked for more. And when all that came out, Rick Romley, who was the county attorney at that time and didn't like Arpaio, he threw out all these charges. And that was very negative attention for Arpaio, but it was a funny story.
Okay, now what we've gone into, in my experience, has been, he is from DEA, and he worked in these third world countries and how they do business, and it's just, because we got the guns, we do what we want, and how do I need to just check off boxes and insulate myself? So he needed a second in command. He needed somebody that would take the heat whenever, it came down, which is... David Hendershot, this guy, I got on the video rolling here. When you see the really big fat guy, that's him, okay? And that whole relationship right there is so interesting of what role he played in the crazy stuff that they've done
True.
And then when it's time to cut him loose, he's getting cut. Well, that time is nigh. And then we'll see who plays next. Well, we'll get more on this and stuff that I bet you didn't know on Sheriff Joe Arpaio when we come back here and declare your independence with me, Ernest Hancock, in just a little bit.